Welcome everyone, Joe with ECRM here at our cough and cold and beauty sessions in Chicago. And with me is Sally Jo from Palko Services. And we're gonna talk about the importance of brand story. So Sally, thank you so much for joining us. And to start off, give everybody a little overview of what you guys, who you are and what you do. Your brand story.
Yes, my brand story. You know, it is important. I think that it's a legacy for Palko. We've been around for 40 years, and I think that that implies trust to our retailers. They can trust us to filter out the items that we might see at the show. So it's a trust factor for us. But getting that story out for us is about filtering down to the mom and pop shops. They are the heart and the soul for us. They built our business for us. They're the ones that continue to take the message out. So for us, brand story sells. We're not as much into the clinical thing. That's there, that's proof. They can do that research, but they want to hear your story. They really do.
And you service like 2,000 independent retail locations.
Herb shops, vitamin locations, yeah.
And now those smaller stores, they want innovation, they want unique brands, and their consumers, their shoppers are kind of, you know, they want to know the backgrounds of these brands, right?
It helps resonate. If you're a vegan and you know that they're a vegan and you know that they keep bees, you can take that to the next level, or probably not keeping bees, more vegetarian, but understanding that and allowing them to share that message with you can really make you connect with that person. Also taking it from not only the buyer, but all the way down into the consumer, that social media, your influencers. For Palko, one thing that we do a lot of is we do a lot of sampling, getting that product in their hands. If your message, if you can add that message to your product label, it's perfect.
So,
certifications.
And I think that's important. The sampling part, you know, there's nothing like getting in the stores. So let's say, your brand, right? And through you, the brand gets into some of the stores. It's important to get into those stores and hand out products. But not only that, educate the store's associates on their story so that they can kind of like champion the brand too, right?
Did you know? A did you know section is so important. If you've got your products that you're passionate about, share those things that they don't know. That's gonna seal the deal for you for sure.
Okay, so when the challenge though is you can have a great brand story and you need to get it to the retailer, but then the retailer needs to share that with their shoppers. What are some of the best ways or most effective ways of making that happen? Because you're dealing with two different levels.
We found it goes back to that sampling. If we can get the buyers or the retail people on the floor to sample those products, try it. If they're using your toothpaste, guess which toothpaste they're going to take you to. So I think using your tools that you have, your people that are passionate, if they become passionate about your brand, if they can share your story with their consumers, it's a win-win.
So I would imagine also for the suppliers to make assets available, whether it's, you know, some text, maybe have a Google Drive folder with some images, some text, things that the retailers can share like on their social media in their store. So anything you could do to make it easier for the retailers to share the brand story too.
Yeah, those retailers are busy. So anything you can do to simplify them, they're getting it at every angle for sure.
Gotcha. And obviously if the brands themselves have a good social media presence, you know, talking about the stores that they're in.
Love it.
And making sure that they highlight going into the stores. I've seen a lot of brands that do this very well. They will actually go into the stores they're servicing and shoot videos in the stores and then share that, and then the stores can share that content as well.
And you know what? I love those posts. Me as a consumer, I love to see that. They're proud. You know, they're happy to see that, and then they're happy to be in the action right there as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, because consumers, especially of your markets, like the national food stores, they want to know what goes on behind the scenes. They want to know, they want to know all about the ingredients, where they come from. They want to know certifications you mentioned before. They want to know that the products are clean, but they like to know the history. They want to know about the people behind the brand too.
100%. We're a very loyal community. You know, a little bit of our story is we still carry that first brand that my father started with 40 years
Really?
ago.
That's awesome.
It's very unheard of. You know, it is super pep now. When we carried it, it was pep, but everything is super in these ages, you know?
Yeah,
That's
and you
just
know,
kind of the truth.
Well, to that point, what I've seen, you know, some of these smaller brands, you usually don't see someone wandering around with like merchandise, like hats from like major national brands. But if someone's really into a small local brand, they'll wear their hats, they wear their swag, and they're proud of it. You know, I know one brand, they were a very small coffee brand called Fire Department Coffee, and I got some of them to send some swag to a friend who is in a fire department in New York. And a year later, I ran into him, and he's still wearing a hat.
I love it.
You don't see that with like a major brand, but this is a small niche brand. They're bigger now, but now they just landed a big deal with Walmart. But still, it's a small niche brand, and people are passionate about it enough to share. So brand story. Make sure you get it out there, get it to the retailers, and do everything you can to make it easy for the retailers to share your story with the customers. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Joe. Love what you do. Bye, guys.